This video is going to cover agricultural related government agencies. So these were established to assist farmers, ranchers, and the general public with information, professional assistance, and in some cases funding. So in a couple of days, we're going to talk more about issues and trends that we're facing in agriculture. And as we talk more about animal science and plant science, you'll learn a little bit more about some things farmers face and people in production agriculture face. And these agencies are established to help provide assistance to those people. So the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, was established in 1862. The United States Department of Agriculture provides leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, rural development, nutrition, and related issues based on sound public policy and the best available science and efficient management. So that's a really big definition there, but the USDA really encompasses a lot of different aspects of agriculture. So within that big umbrella of the USDA, we're going to break it down a little bit further into some other things involved. So some of the branches include the NRCS, that is the Natural Resource Conservation Service. It was established in 1935, and they're going to focus more on conservation of like soil, water, and things like that we need to keep sustainable and just to keep it well for future generations. The next one is APHIS. APHIS stands for Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. It was established in 1972. A lot of times you're going to see them in airports or at boat terminals, anywhere you have goods coming in and out of especially countries, because there are many countries that may not have a disease or some type of pathogen, and they don't want it to come to them. So they have an APHIS to help prevent that from happening. Same thing in the United States. There are things we don't have or we don't want to get, or we want to try to limit how much of it we have. And so we're going to prevent people from coming in and out. Y'all are getting a firsthand experience of something like APHIS would do because you have been seeing the news and you know about the coronavirus. So of course, that was something that started in another country, but it made its way here quickly because we have people in and out of the country all the time. So, having that screening service to help try to prevent those things from coming in is important. All right, the next service is NASS. That stands for National Agricultural Statistics Service, and that was established in 1863. So these are the people that keep up with all the numbers, and they crunch them, and they give us those percentages and how much of something might have been produced in a year's time. The USFS, there were a couple of y'all that did that for your Wonder Day activity. So that is the United States Forest Service. It was invented in 1905, and their mission is to sustain the health, diversity, and productivity of the nation's forests and grasslands to meet the needs of present and future generations. So this was created because there's obviously a need for our forest, and while we do have to use wood and we have to cut timber and do stuff like that for the things we need in everyday life, as long as we're being sustainable about it and we keep replenishing that and we keep our forest healthy and we keep regrowing and replanting, we're going to be able to provide for our future generations. So that's one of the goals of the United States Forestry Service. All right, so we're going to get a little bit closer to home. So these are going to be North Carolina agencies. The North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service was created in 1914 to help individuals, families, and communities put research-based knowledge to work for economic prosperity, environmental stewardship, and an improved quality of life. So we have one of these in every county in North Carolina. Our Cooperative Extension Office is in Whiteville, next to where the farmers market is or the Social Security Service building. And we have a couple of extension agents there that focus on different things. So we do have one for livestock and we have another for agronomy, because in our county we have more of those two things. So if you ever have an issue, like for those of y'all that have cows, You could call that livestock extension agent. She may have more information and be able to help you with it. And if she doesn't, she can always refer back to some of her work and some information she has available to help you out. So those extension agents, a lot of times they're in work with North Carolina State University, who is always doing research, and they're in touch with research lab places all across North Carolina, and they're trying to solve issues that may arise before we have to face them. The North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, or the NCDA and CS, this was created to provide services that promote and improve agriculture. So we watched an Edpuzzle on this already, and it just kind of went over all the different aspects of agriculture. And the NCDA is really trying to promote agriculture so that way we can stay prosperous in it. It's one of our biggest economic impacts in North Carolina, so we have to keep it going. We have to keep the industry strong. So that is their goal. So the NCDA and Consumer Science oversees the following things: all agricultural issues, and that can be many different things. So diseases, pests, it can be more political based things like the Farm Bill. They also oversee weights and standards. So anytime you go to a gas pump, you're going to see a little sticker and it's going to say serviced and calibrated by the NCDA. Food and drugs in North Carolina, the NC State Fair, that's one of their biggest promotional activities. And then as far as marketing, there are 2 farmers markets in North Carolina. There used to be 3. One used to be in Lumberton. Now you have one in Asheville and I think somewhere closer to the central part of the state. And then you do have, well, the one in Raleigh is really big. And then there's the Goodness Grows program. So a lot of times if you go in grocery stores, you might see the sticker there on the screen that says got to be NC Agriculture. And that's going to designate food that has been produced in North Carolina and try to encourage you to eat that more local food. You're also going to see them overseeing research stations. We do have one in Columbus County. They work a lot with tobacco, but now I think they're working some with corn. And there's a bunch more across the state. They work with structural pests. So whenever you see a person come out and spray for bugs, the NCDA also oversees that. And then the veterinarian program. So as you can see, there are a lot of different ag-related activities that the NCDA is involved in. And that is your lesson on ag-related government agencies.